confidence in our future. I recognize that America is going to come roaring back.
I hear you.
Were we to re-elect President Obama, there's no question in my mind we'd face 4 more difficult years. If instead when I become president, we're going to get this economy growing again. We're going to do the things that ignite this economy. Those 5 things I described will get America's economy going again. We'll help people find jobs that need those jobs. We'll get take-home pay to come up again. This is not a mystery. We know how to do it. America has faced challenges before. When we have strong leaders, when we have people who know how to lead and where to lead, we can get it done. And I am who will. I believe in America, and I believe in you. I believe you're going to help me win Ohio, I'll tell you that. We love this country. We know what it stands for. We know the power of freedom. We take our inspiration from the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. The founders were right when they said that our rights came from God, not from government, but from God. And among those rights were life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And that last phrase, don't forget it, that last phrase really means something. Pursuit of happiness. What that means is that in this country we can pursue happiness as we choose. We're not told by our government what we can accomplish. We're not limited by the circumstance of our birth. I was with Marco Rubio the other day. He said growing up there were some big homes not far from where he lived. He said, I never heard my parents say, why don't those people give us some of what they have? Instead, they said, aren't we lucky to live in a country where if we work hard and take some risk and get as much education as possible, we can achieve that ourselves. America's economy is driven by freedom. It's not guided by government. That's how the Europeans did it. That did not work. The reason we have surpassed them, the reason we have grown to become the most powerful economy in the history of the earth is not because of government bureaucrats telling us how to live our lives or what to invest in or telling us what kind of health care we can have. Instead, free American people living their lives as they freely choose. That's what makes America what we are. We're a nation of dreamers. I want to tell you where my passion and conviction of the future of this country comes from. It's because I get the chance to see the American people. And I have over my lifetime seen people in this country, by the way, most of whom are struggling with one kind of challenge or another. You look around, you see everybody that look happy, you think everybody's doing just fine, and you're the only one with problems. But the truth is, most people that you see have some real challenges in their life of one kind or another. I understand that. And I've seen that inside the heart of the American people, despite our challenges, is the conviction that this nation is the greatest nation in the history of the earth. And the people... And we love this country and recognize the sacrifice that is made for this country. I wonder how many people in this room have served in our armed forces or are doing so now. Would you raise your hand? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Some years ago, I had the chance of helping to organize the Olympic Winter Games in 2002. This experience was one of the most meaningful to me, perhaps the most memorable for me. It was at the closing ceremonies.
Okay.
And the Vice President of the United States came to watch those last events. And Vice President Cheney asked me to choose one athlete to come sit next to him in his box to represent all the American athletes, and I chose Derek Parra. Derek is Hispanic American. He was born in Los Angeles. He was a rollerblader, all right? And his friends told him, look, you got to pick up another sport because there's no medal in rollerblading. So he tries out ice skates, and he skates pretty darn well. As a matter of fact, he skates so well and works so hard, he makes the U.S. speed skating team and comes to the Olympics. And while he was there, he skates his heart out, gets a silver medal in the 5,000 meters, and then a gold medal in the 1,500 meters. Fastest man in the world on ice. And he's about 5'4", and strong, passionate. I asked him to come in and sit with the Vice President at the closing ceremonies. He came in, I stopped him, and I said, Derek, what was the most meaningful experience in your Olympic Games? And it wasn't the silver medal, and it wasn't the gold medal. He said it was being honored to carry in the American flag that had flown above the World Trade Center on September 11th of 2001. Derek was one of 8 athletes chosen to carry in that flag that had been above the World Trade Center on that tragic day. The flag's about 8 feet by 12 feet. It's badly torn and burned, so you can't put it up a flagpole. Carried it horizontally. And he said that they expected, when it was announced, as it was coming into the stadium, that the audience would burst into cheers, but instead, total silence, complete reverence. So they carried the flag, and he said, we stopped in front of the choir, and they began performing the national anthem. And he said, Mitt, it was hard to hold on to my emotions as I was holding that flag, and they were singing those words. And then he said, the choir did something we hadn't expected. Now, I knew it was coming, because I chose the version of the national anthem the choir sang, and I chose a version from the 1930s, arranged by Robert Shaw, where you repeat the last line, and the sopranos go up an octave. And there's much greater orchestration. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. And he said this time, as they sang it again, a gust of wind blew in the flag and lifted it in our hands. And he said it was as if all the spirits of those that had fought and died for American liberty had just blown in that flag. Patriotic people. We recognize that our nation is an exceptional nation. We recognize the power and unique nature of a nation which was formed based upon a principle that God gave us our rights, and that we have freedom as part of our life inheritance for this great nation. This is who we are. The world needs the example of America. It needs a strong America. I was in Poland a few weeks ago and saw Lech Walesa, a world hero. I came in to see him. He said, Mitt, you come from America. You must be tired. You sit. I'll talk. You listen. And so I did. And then he said this, where's American leadership? We need American leadership. Yours is the only superpower on the planet. And then he'd look at what was happening in the Middle East and say, where is American leadership? And then he'd go to another arena in the world. Where is American leadership? The world needs American to lead. Our families need American to lead. Our future needs America to lead. If I'm the next president, when